Today on Power Women of Queens, Lucia meets Melinda Katz, the 19th Queensborough president who has been a dedicated public servant for nearly 20 years.
My daily routine includes walking my kids to school, doing what I need to do for the office, and also looking towards the future of this great borough. And the combination is difficult and challenging sometimes, and when it's so challenging, I include my children in my job.
QPTV presents Power Women of Queens, a series that highlights the everyday female decision maker, political leader, manager, and scientist as the norm, not the exception. The women featured are everyday women, mothers, wives, sisters, and co-workers whose actions have contributed to the Queens community. Melinda Katz was elected on November 5th, 2013 to serve as the 19th president of the Borough of Queens. Ms. Katz has nearly 20 years of public service experience, previously serving in the New York State Assembly from 1994 to 1999, and the New York City Council from 2002 to 2009, where she chaired the influential Land Use Committee. Ms. Katz is an attorney by trade and has years of experience in private industry, most recently at Greenberg Traurig LLP and previously at Weil, Gotchell and Mengis LLP. Born and raised in Forest Hills, Melinda is a graduate of the New York City public school system. She graduated summa cum laude from the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and received her J.D. from the St. John's University School of Law. Her father, David, was the founder and conductor of the Queens Symphony Orchestra, and her mother, Janine, was the founder of the Queens Council on the Arts. Ms. Katz is raising her two young children, Carter and Hunter, in the same Forest Hills house she grew up in.
You were named by the Queens Tribune Person of the Year for 2015. Congratulations.
Thank you, they were very kind.
How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels better that Queens is on the map and folks are noticing the things that we are doing here in the borough. But it was an exciting time, and like I said, they were very kind in their words, and I'm very thankful for it.
I've heard you speak many times, and always when you talk about Queens, you talk with such a passion and joy, and I'm always reminded of a quote from E.B. White who said, "I rise in the morning torn between a desire to improve the world and a desire to enjoy the world. This makes it hard to plan the day." Was making Queens a better place for families always your mission, or was a result of something else?
I think it's an exciting time. I think you can enjoy what you do and still make the world a better place for tomorrow. I don't think those two are preclusive. And we manage to do that right here in the borough every day.
After the break, Melinda Katz will share how she balances motherhood with career.
But I also have made it clear to them that, mom's job is to make sure to try and help other people's lives be better.
Melinda Katz is a working mother and understands how hard it is to work and raise a family, a combination she sometimes finds challenging.
You're a mother and you're a borough president. That takes a lot of determination, persistence. What daily habits do you exercise to develop those qualities?
I made it my purpose to raise my children and to be part of their lives, a really close part of their lives. I am very fortunate in my life that I'm a working mother, and I'm able to have the flexibility to still walk my children to school almost every day, to do my second grader's homework with him almost every day, to be able to be there at some point in the afternoon to cook them dinner. But I'm lucky. A lot of people, a lot of working parents don't have that. And so part of what we do in this office is to make sure that we try and help folks when they can't do that. But my daily routine includes walking my kids to school, doing what I need to do for the office, and also looking towards the future of this great borough. And The combination is difficult and challenging sometimes, and when it's so challenging, I include my children in my job. They come with me to events. They lit a lot of Christmas trees during the season. They lit a lot of menorahs. They would come with me to places, and that is a very, very exciting part of the job.
What is the hardest part balancing motherhood and career?
I think the hardest part is time. I think everybody always wishes they had more time in the day. And that always is a challenge. And like I said, I'm fortunate enough that I'm still able to be a large part of their life. But I also have made it clear to them that, mom's job is to make sure to try and help other people's lives be better. And they understand that, and they've really become part of that world. And so it's exciting for me when they'll ask me, which senior centers did you go to today? What was the biggest problem today that you helped resolve? And they are interested and they're curious. And that to me means I'm doing something good, not only in my family, but also with the job.
Now, speaking of balance, many mothers and women try to have it all. Do you think we can have it all? Do you try having it all?
I think you can try and have as much as you can. And you work and you raise a family and you do everything that you need to do. And you do what you have to do for family. But this job is a uniquely interesting one because you're in public service, and you're in public service for a borough that is so diverse. And it's not always that you have certain holidays off, right, and that you're able to be home, or that you're going to be free at a certain month. You really have to make sure that you have time for both. I am so honored that the constituents of the Borough of Queens chose me to be the borough president. But with that comes a responsibility to make sure that I'm doing the best job I can.
Coming up next, we will hear what might be some of the advantages and disadvantages that women in government face.
I think the most challenging is just proving yourself every step of the way, and I think that comes with anybody who does public service.
Glad to be here, Joe, as Queensboro wins the opening tip.
Melinda Katz has authored and helped pass many laws and had a special focus on women's issues during her time working in the Assembly.
When you were in the Assembly, your focus was on women's issues. Do you think we need more women in leadership positions and in government to follow your example as an advocate to women?
I think everyone who gets elected and who runs for office brings a perspective to that office. Whatever job you've done, whatever upbringing you had, whoever your parents were, whoever your family looks like and is, it brings a perspective to the office. And so I think women bring a different perspective than a man. And that's a good thing, that we have all different views in elected office.
Now, what was the biggest advantage and disadvantage of being a woman in politics and government?
I've been very fortunate in my career that folks have treated me with respect, and it's been a benefit to me, and it's been a great learning experience to be a woman in this business as well. I would say the most challenging is not being a woman. I think the most challenging is just proving yourself every step of the way, and I think that comes with anybody who does public service. And you want to make sure that you're servicing folks properly, that you're doing the right thing for the people that entrusted you.
Coming up after the break, we will find out what was her most challenging project so far.
As soon as I came in, that became the front page newspaper story in the Daily News, and we worked hard to really follow up on it and see what was going on.
Melinda Katz worked on many projects, but a little more than 6 months into her tenure, she was faced with a challenging task.
Which was the most challenging project since you became Queensboro president?
Clearly the libraries were the most challenging. As soon as I came in, that became the front page newspaper story in the Daily News, and we worked hard to really follow up on it and see what was going on. And now I would say that after many months and months of work, the trustees have created a library system, or continued the library system, but created a lot of faith and a lot of trust in folks again. And so I'm excited to work with them, but that was probably the most challenging thing that we faced so far.
What accomplishments are you most proud of during your tenure?
I'm very proud of how we have marketed ourselves to the rest of the world. I think folks are looking at us. They're coming to visit in droves. The numbers in tourism have increased enormously. We're the #1 destination of choice in the United States by many blogs and many tourist guides. And that is an amazing accomplishment for us. And it's the whole borough, right? Everybody's been working together towards that goal.
How has Queens changed for the past 2 years?
In the past 2 years, we always knew Queens was an amazing personality, and now we're introducing it to the rest of the world. People have started to take notice. A lot of great work has been done in the last 20 years, and we're just working on that, the great cultures and the diversity. And folks are coming from their own countries and showing us their art and their dancing and their music and their religion and their traditions. And we put them all together in this great big borough of Queens, and it makes it a very exciting place to be.
Where do you see Queens in the next 3 years?
I see us working towards even greater numbers in tourism. I see us getting rid of trailers in our schools to make our education a better system. I see us working towards getting folks jobs and making sure that as we create this structure for families and in education and for our future, that we also make sure that we give opportunities for folks to work and get back to employment. It is an infrastructure that is necessary in order for families to thrive, and that includes the entire family. We also need senior housing here in this borough, and we're working towards creating that as quickly as we can also. A lot of our grandparents are helping to raise our grandchildren so that the children can go out and work, and we need to make sure that we are providing for them.
Stay tuned for a round of quick questions.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Football or baseball?
Baseball.
Media professionals from all around the world have visited QPTV Studio to learn about free speech and community production. These visiting journalists are part of the International Visitor Leadership Program, which is administered by the U.S. Department of State. The purpose of the IVLP is to build a bridge of understanding between nations that support the foreign policy goals of the U.S. and that reflect the professional interests of the participants. QPTV is proud of what we have accomplished with the IVLP.
Being involved in politics and government from an early age and becoming the Queensborough president makes Melinda a person that many young people look up to.
For the young person who wants to be you one day, what advice do you have?
Just work and try and be happy along the way. Go to school, get an education. It's one of the only things in life that no one can take away from you. You own it, you earned it. And that is one of the greatest benefits that you'll have is an education as you move forward. My children, in fact, believe that there are 16 grades. In the school system, they believe it's K through 16. And anything else is not even an issue or a choice. And that was important to me. It's how my father raised me, and it's how I'm raising my kids. But I think that's an important part as well.
Now my son has a question for you. I'll play it for you.
What was your favorite subject in school?
I think it was probably social studies and the history of the world and how that worked and how it affects today's life, politics, government. I always enjoyed those topics, but I loved seeing how it fit in to past history, I also liked math very much.
Round of quick questions. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Football or baseball?
Baseball.
Newspaper or magazine?
Newspaper.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Nonfiction.
Favorite movie?
Godfather.
Last book?
The Gatehouse, probably, Nelson DeMille.
Ideal day off?
A day with my kids.
Favorite city?
New York?
Favorite borough?
Oh, trick question. Queens.
Media Dragos, and I am Editing Power Women of Queens. Watch QP TV. It's on now.